Good evening, how's it going? This is going to be part 13 of my cubist journey. Now for this one I thought we kind of do a fun to do a Nissan Skyline R34. I'm not really a fan of like JDM cars and stuff, I don't do too many of them, but I thought this would be a fun one to have a go, just crack on, see what happens. Likewise to my previous ones, I like to work on tan paper with oil pastels. I found that this medium works best for this kind of work that I do. I've tried watercolour paints, all sorts of other acrylic paints, gouache and all sorts of other things, but I find oil pastels to be the best medium for me to work with these cubist drawings. What's really cool as well is if I apply like multiple views, so I'll be doing a front view, a top view and a side view, all these different views, it gives much more realistic perspective than a normal three-dimensional photograph. It's kind of hard to understand, but if you think about it in the way that if you see multiple views of the actual car itself and see some of the exaggerated lines, so I won't just be drawing just the actual shape of the view itself, but also exaggerating some of the lines involved with it, whether that be where the windscreen hits the bonnet, that kind of shape, I'll be emphasizing that more, or maybe like where the exhaust comes out in that circle. And using all these different views and seeing them together in a mix-up gives all views all together kind of a much more realistic perspective. You see more of the vehicle all at once. What's also kind of cool with these cubist drawings is that I can't really predict what's going to happen. So even though I kind of like talking my way through, this is what I'm going to be doing, the front view, this is going to be the rear view. What happens is that all these views kind of mix together and they create a kind of sort of blend. So like there's some areas of the vehicle I won't be able to recognize, some I will, and if I look at it back again for another time, I'll see other things within it. The intellectual mind kind of takes like a back seat with this because you can't really exactly criticize which bit's which. A more intuitive mind is more active within this because the instincts have to really try and pick up on what you're actually looking at. Even though all the shapes and lines you will see within the actual drawing are made up from the actual car, it will be like something completely brand new. And I thought it'd be cool to do this with a Skyline. So let's crack on, shall we? Good evening, how's it going? Today I'm going to do another cubist drawing. This one's going to be of a cool R34 Skyline. I'm not too much of a fan of the JDM cars per se. I mean, I do like drawing them and that, but can't be an R34. Really, really cool. Rarely actually see them these days. Quite a rare car these days around the UK. So, like any of the previous cubist ones I've done, I'm just starting off with a few basic lines and shapes that make up the actual car itself. I've got my photo references to my right, so I might just be briefly looking. And like always, I'm not going to be completely accurate. This phase is literally just getting a few lines in. So this will be like the front view here. Then let's just switch the photos around. And it's got a nice top view. So let's add that here. Some of the reference photos I've been using, they're quite old photos and there's not many top-down views. So it's nice to do a top-down view for a change. Like that. This is A3 paper on tan, I'm using oil pastels. This is a line from the front splitter, I like that. I might just do another headlight. I like the headlight as well, I might do another one up there. It's kind of cool. So let's have a look at the views again. We've got a rear view, let's add that in with the iconic circle lights. This would be the number plate would be from the rear. Let's do another set of those lights. Okay, I think I'm just about done with all the different shapes. I love this spoiler shape which goes around there, across. What else shapes can we use? I love the exhaust, that's a nice circle. Some of the shapes of the rims. What else can we use? Maybe a side light here. Maybe a wing mirror there. Okay, so I think that'll do for all the shapes. What I'll do now is I'll break all the shapes down into geometric, little mini geometric shapes and stuff, and then add in the dark contrast and light contrast. This is a nice vivid blue, so I'll be going with the black first, and going with the blue pastels, and then to blend it all together I'll go on top of that with linseed oil. But anyway, let's crack on with this in time lapse, and then I'll see where we are so far in a little bit. So here's a little progress update of what I've got so far. As you can see, the majority of the focus I've done is just up here, where I've experimented with just the idea of the oil pastels and linseed oil, so I'll get like a foundation of where I want things to look at, so I can apply that to the rest of the painting. As you can see here, this looks like some of the rear lights. Now, just to fine tweak it a little bit, I added a Posca marker on top, just to bring that pop of that colour just a little bit out. And then a little bit of this white gouache on top of here, just to pull out some of these geometric shapes. So I'm really liking this corner so far. This is really cool. This is really confusing. I'm not quite sure which some bits are, and I can see the rear lights here, but there is some areas which I cannot discern. This might be the wheel. I know this is a number plate. This is like a top-down view. So I'm going to spend a lot of time just working my way through this, see if I can bring this all together. I don't know what it is, or I don't know where it's going, but I'm just going to apply the same rules as I did here to there, and I'm sure it will come out in the end and look awesome. I think these are going to be the front headlights here, maybe another one there. They look a bit weird. I don't like this angle I've got here, so I might just do a bit more black just to curl that around, make these lights look a little bit more discernible. These are like grills, I think, so I'm going to make these look a bit more better. So let's get these grills looking better. Let's fix this up. I added a touch of green here. I thought it'd be a nice contrast to the red, just for where the windows are going to be. And it's important, I think, to bring the background forward as well. So as you can see, you can't really tell where the background starts, where the car starts, basically. So the whole thing, I'm trying to make it more flatter as possible. But so far so good. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. This top corner looks a little bare, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. I was kind of worried about the red that I've got applied here, which is the rear lights, because red is a very hot colour, and it's a contrast in the blue. But I think with an even balance of it in different locations, I don't think it will help pull it out. There's a touch of orange here as well. So by applying it all around the picture, your eyes won't be just focused on the single red bit, but more of a balance throughout. Again, with this yellow, I think your eyes are kind of drawn to this yellow. So to balance out the yellow, I might do to the bit maybe up here. Just again, so like your eyes, when you look at it, it's not just drawn to one particular colour, and it keeps the whole thing flat. But yeah, let's just build up more oil pastel tones. But this is an interesting experiment. I think this is experiment 13. But yeah, let's see what happens. So I think that's the Cubist style for the skyline all finished. There is maybe a few more tweaks I want to add to it, but this project's gone a bit too long than I wanted to, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. I think it looks really awesome. This bit is really interesting. I kind of got stuck with this bit because I kept again thinking this was a face for the two eyes there for some reason. I was getting kind of hypnotised in this area. I love this area and these are really cool. This is a bit weird, so I'm not quite sure how to feel about this area. And this area is a bit weird, but hey-oh, I still really enjoy it. I think it looks really cool. Yeah, I think I've got some balance there. I did go a bit over the top with some Posca markers on top of the oil pastels, because I really wanted to bring out some of the saturation a bit more. But yeah, I think it's really cool. From the other side, You can see lots of other different forms of the car in there. Like I know this is the real lights here and the lights there. It's like a front bit there repeated, and this is exhaust. This was like something on the wheel, but then it added blue shards into it, which is kind of cool. I added this red here just to kind of balance the picture across a bit. This yellow number plate, maybe I should have had another yellow maybe somewhere else, because the eye does kind of draw to it. This is like a side profile there. I'm not quite sure what these bits are, but it looks really cool. Everything's from the actual car itself, so some bits I can still kind of recognise, some bits I can't. Yeah, it looks really cool. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. This has been my Skyline Cubist painting, and yeah, see you for the next one.